Call this meeting of the Archaeological Review Committee of April 23rd, 2026 to order. And we have the roll call, please. First.
You remember. Oh, Shelby? No. Member Megason?
Shelby Magison?
Thank you.
Yes, I'm here.
Present.
Member Bechtold?
Excuse.
And Chair Eck.
Present.
Well, for
Thank you. First item to consider is approval of agenda. Staff, is there anything?
The feed seems to have frozen.
Joseph, can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you. Would that be okay with you if we moved you to the end of the agenda?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. All right, with that amendment, anything else?
No, Chair Eck.
I have a question regarding item A. There's a measurement floating in there that doesn't seem to make sense at 84 feet. It appears in your staff report as well.
Is that item A on new business?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
The subsurface disturbance at 84 feet?
Yeah.
The surface disturbance. That was taken off the application. I apologize. I'm speaking for Heather Lamboy. She is unable to attend this evening.
All right.
That is an error, Chair Eck.
Okay, thank you. We'll just ignore that then.
Thank you, sir.
Member Treese, anything to say about the agenda? No. Member Magnuson?
No.
All right. Then with that, we can have a motion.
Move we approve the agenda with the amendment of moving D to C under new business and C to D.
We have a motion.
I second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Seeing no minutes, we'll skip item 4. Item 5, matters from the floor. We have a letter provided in support of matters from the floor.
This is from Miss Nicole Thomas. Can you please unmute?
I am unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I have this letter that I presented, and then I actually have 2 other items I'd like to present from matters from the floor. And If I can show my screen, that would be great.
By all means.
Go ahead and send your request, Nicole. The request has been granted. Is it allowing you?
Let me see. Yes. Okay. So, good evening, Chair Eck and members of the Archaeological Review Committee. I know I'm just showing this letter now that this is one of the first, I guess, of the bi-monthly reports on the status of the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum project, which SWCA engaged me about taking over as the PI. And so I've been spending the last month getting oriented to the project. And this is simply an introduction. So I don't know if there's any questions or comments or things that you'd like to see in the going forward.
Committee members, anything to offer?
When
have-
you say this is, go ahead, Shelby.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I have nothing other than I look forward to reading the report because it sounds like really cool things were found.
Thank you, Shelby. Member Trees?
So this letter is basically the report, the bi-monthly report. Is that what I'm hearing, or we didn't get anything else, right?
It is. This is the bi-monthly report for this time because I'm still onboarding. We're working on photos and graphics and other things, and I do have a schedule of basically topical presentations between now and June 2027. So as we go along, the next update is anticipated to be in June 2026, and it'll discuss the samples that we sent in for the project. And then we'll go on to the different analyses for each of the subsequent reports until we get to the end of the report writing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
You said you had several other items for,
I do. I have, I just wanted to update on the Shelby Street Bridge. I think everyone knows that the bridge is removed at this point. We are monitoring it, the construction. The only thing that has been done now is replacement of the electric line and some of the water line within the fenced area that now exists where the bridge was. Bedrock was hit very close to the surface on the south side of the river. And so I think there's some redesign going on in regard to how the bridge will be anchored. So that's where we're at with that project. I don't know if there's any questions on that. And then the Santa Fe Convention Center has a small project going on. There's drainage issues. It often causes the elevator to be shut down because water gets into everything. And so, can you see the project area?
nope.
Let's see.
Your letter is still up on the screen.
Okay, let me reshare because it just didn't switch over. Okay. So this was the Shelby Street Bridge deconstruction. And then this is the project area. The only new kind of trenched area is going to be here from where the brick walkway is, and then
You might
out.
want to make that a little larger, Nicole. We can make it, if you can make it full screen, because we can barely see it.
Sure, hang on, let me try again here.
Thank you.
Does that work better?
Little bit.
Poquito,
Okay.
zoom in some more, please.
Oh, sure. Okay, so that's good. So here's the elevator shaft. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, here's the elevator shaft. City Hall is over to the east. The project area is in red. All of this area, which is under the Portal walkway on the east side of the convention center, was dug up pretty significantly when the convention center was created, when it was built. And here's a photo of kind of the work that was done here. There is like a new section of drainage. It's about 40 feet. And it'll connect to a drain kind of under the sidewalk. Here, let me show you this. It's like this. And it'll be dug to a depth of 2 feet. And so my question is, does the Archaeological Review Committee want to review this monitoring plan? Because it doesn't meet the length for the utilities, and it's less than 2,500 square feet of gross lot coverage. But of course, it is within LA 1051, which we asked for some documentation that if the city had anything that showed that it was technically a significant site to the city. But from minutes and things, I think what it looks like is the same thing as the Drury, where there's features and sites and things like that, but there weren't meets and bounds put on because the extent of the site is unknown. So my question to you is, do you want to look at this monitoring report in May, or do you not see a trigger?
Member Magnuson, do you have any questions?
Well, the updated land development code does require archaeological clearance for ground disturbance within 25 feet of an archaeological site in historic downtown, which I'm pretty sure this qualifies under. So
Okay.
that new language hasn't been posted publicly yet that I can find.
Yeah, and so when we started this project too, it was in the fall. And then I have the same question kind of about how the code is operating right now as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess that would be my question is, are we considering it under the new code or not?
Member Trees?
I'm kind of unfamiliar with how much that area has been disturbed, but it is within an archaeological site. It seems like we should be looking at something.
And just to answer your question quickly, so it has been excavated during the time that the convention center was being built, and there is the oh my goodness, where is it? The Baca Garvisu estate is in this location, and these are the features that were recorded and removed, and other features around here. So that is kind of what has gone on in the area. There was some treatment in 2005. And we're not, again, we're going to 2 feet. So
Okay, this new trench, the green line, as
yes.
opposed to the greater part of the project area, which is reopening something that looked like a huge ditch with a drain pipe in it.
So this is from 2005. And yeah, all this earth was excavated and then sterile soil was put in around this pipe. And then now the drain that exists along here is going to be replaced. So this is new drain in the green. And so that was the area that we suggested for monitoring, because all of that is within that big pipe area, all the rest of this.
Right. Staff, has anyone reached out to Native American groups who would be concerned with this particular area?
And just, sorry, one moment. Sorry, Gary. Just to go back, we did, Marlisa, who works in Public Works, did reach out to Paul, and there was an IPRA request done for this project too, because we didn't receive any response from staff. So just so you're aware that that happened in August and September. And there was no response to the IPRA request either.
But Chair, not that I know, Suzuki has not been notified, Suzuki Pueblo has not been notified. When we did this request, working on the request, we were not notified of the trench, and am I correct, Amanda? Because we were talking about only the gates and the addition on top.
Right. As far as myself or Manager Mokino, we are working on a historic addition to that. We were not notified of the trenching that is going to be done.
Okay, the reason I ask is because in that picture that's up there right now, you see that interesting little curvilinear brick
Yes.
coping that's out there. It's supposed to be the location of a certain sculpture involving 2 well-known and celebrated personages who ran around the state delivering the information prior to the Pueblo Revolt.
Yes.
When that little brick coping was proposed, there was not only a monitoring plan, there was consultation with Native American tribes and other groups. And there was a great deal of concern expressed by someone, not having been privy to those actual conversations, that human remains were very likely to be present at potentially very shallow depths, because that little brick coping sits on a little foundation, and I don't think it's any deeper than 2 feet. So the same concern now would be identical to what was then. Human remains were encountered in this vicinity in significant numbers.
Yes.
So I think there should be a plan.
Okay. And there is this plan, and we'll bring it to you in May. And then we've already started working with the state on what's required for other parts of the project, of the compliance.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
that conclude your matters from the floor?
It does, thanks.
All right. And we will move on to item 6, old business. A, case number 2026-012091. Ron Winters, agent for City of Santa Fe River and Watershed Section, applicant requests approval for archaeological reconnaissance report for 6.89 acres at 1709 Cerritos Road in the Suburban Archaeological Review District. Thank you for your staff report. Amanda, anything to add to that?
No, Chair Eck.
I have a question about your staff report, however.
Yes.
I did not do an exhaustive search for text in the body of the report, but your staff report mentions 2 water diversion structures, and I can only see 1 described in the report. And the second thing in your staff report is a reference to a small pipe back to Ashbaugh Channel, which also I could not find in the report. So I'm mystified as to what parts of this undertaking are not defined in front of us on paper.
Okay, I can say that, I believe from what our previous hearing to this one, or committee meeting to this one, that, they met the, appropriate request of the committee. And let me see if I can pull up which map we saw the small drainage to.
Well, if those exist, you can just say so and we'll get to it. I just want you to know I couldn't find it when I read your staff report.
Yes.
So we can move on to identification and swearing in of our presenters.
Will you please raise your right hand, state your name and address for the record?
Ron Winters, 109 Cayapala, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87505.
Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, and do this under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you.
Emily Brown, 6 Gerardo Way, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87508.
Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, and do this under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. They're sworn in, Chair.
You have the floor. What do we need to know in addition to what you have provided?
Well, as we talked about at the last meeting, you know, I PI on this project and conducted the survey, and Emily wrote up the results and was involved, you know, from the start and in all aspects of it. But questions should probably be directed directly to Emily, and I can jump in if need be. But
Okay.
if you want to say,
Then you have.
I think the main thing that came out of last time was the request that we interview members of the Acequia Commission. So we did meet with Phil and Mish Beauvais, and also the mayordomo for the Acequia de los Pinos, Eric Montoya. So the notes from that interview were attached as an appendix. And probably the most significant finding from that interview was the confirmation that Ashbaugh Channel has always been a ditch for stormwater drainage and was never part of the Acequia system. So based on that, I was able to, with more confidence, make a recommendation that it is not eligible for listing in the National Register.
Committee member Trees.
I have no questions or comments. I appreciate that you did reach out to the Acequia people and find out. Now, I'm assuming that when the work starts, they'll perhaps be more involved.
Yes, and they were also aware of the different meetings and opportunities to comment to the city, and we're planning to engage with them.
Okay, great.
Member Madison.
Yes, I had a couple of comments. But it seems like this has been reviewed before, so maybe the most pertinent one is that you still have Ashba channel recommended as unevaluated in your NIAF, in your summary.
Oh, thank you. I will fix that.
But also on page 3 of your report, you cite Obel 2026 with a description of the Santa Fe group, except that source does not talk about the Santa Fe group.
Okay. I can verify that reference. Thank you.
And you also discuss the drainage being, or Ashba drainage, I believe, being present on historical aerial photographs. It would have been nice to include that historic aerial photograph. It's on page 25 where you discuss it, just
Okay.
for reference. But those are only comments I had.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. I just noticed in reading through your HCPI form, which everyone will be sad to know that the online record of this has no idea what an HCPI form is, and definitely has no idea what its acronym HCPI stands for. It renders it in very strange ways. So I was looking at said form, and on page 2 of 7 of the second form, that's for number 57357. Last paragraph on that page, history of property if known. Says, second sentence, a historic aerial photograph, same one Shelby just pointed out, shows that the ditch was presented by at least 1935.
Thank you.
Ditch the ED, please.
Yep.
And then I just, while flipping through here, trying to find the page that she mentioned, I saw a misrendering of a Latin name for a certain well-known species. And it's incorrect because bison antiquus has a leading capital B, and the text does not have that.
Okay.
And so you heard my questions of staff as to the 2 diversions and the small pipe. If you can point me to the illustrations that show the location of the second diversion and the small pipe, that would be very helpful.
My understanding that there is only one diversion.
Again, that might be something propagated from an application form, which sometimes refers to things in a less precise manner.
Okay.
So if it is only one diversion.
Yes,
that's
it is
great.
only one diversion.
And where is the small pipe? And if you don't know, that's okay. Say so.
Yeah, we'd have to look at the, let's see. I believe that the graphics I had at my disposal were the preliminary drawings, and so I may not be able to tell you where that pipe will actually be.
Oh, yeah. Somehow, somewhere, somebody has to make sure that that small pipe and the second diversion are nowhere near the actual eligible acequia.
Yeah.
As to where they are, it's just an academic interest on my part. As long as we're sure it's not going to interfere with cultural properties.
Okay, yeah, no, they were clear in the description of their undertaking that it was going to be restricted to an area away from the acequia, that they knew it was there, so.
Okay. Then we can all take a deep breath and be grateful. Thank you. That is all. Someone want to craft a motion, please?
I move that we accept the report. See 012091 for Asphalt Park. Move that we accept it.
We have a motion.
I second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Aye.
I
Motion carries. Thank you so much for going out and getting that extra information. Member Bechtel, who is not here and is not listening, as far as I can tell. I think she's got important things to do. Graduating her daughter.
Oh, no.
She will be very pleased to see both Mr. Murphy's input and your additional thought investing. Thank you.
Thank you.
The interviews, all very good.
Wonderful, thank you.
And she did receive a packet, so
Good. So she'll know.
she asked. She's not here, but she's watching.
In a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Now on to new business, case number 2026-012231. Trauma Environmental Research and Consulting Agent for EZ Fiber applicant requests approval of an archaeological monitoring plan for approximately 2,660 feet of subsurface fiber optic line. Surface at 455 St. Michael's Drive in the River and Trails and Suburban Archaeological Review District. We have the staff report. Thank Heather for that staff report. Any changes to the
No, turn.
Thank you. Have presenters who will have to be identified and sworn.
Will you each please raise your right hand, state your name and address for the record?
Brenda Belletti, 829 West Manhattan Avenue, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87501.
Thank you. Are you going to be speaking as well?
Yes. Veronica Bashevsky, 149 Cuyahoga Feliz, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87505.
Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, and do this under the penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. They've been sworn on, Chair.
You have the floor. What do we need to know in addition to what you've brought forth?
Earlier you mentioned that, first of all, I'd like to introduce, we have two people from EZ Fiber here. We have Josh Williams, who is the Regional Vice President of Construction for the Southwest. And we have Aaron Appenbrick, who is Director of Construction.
And will either of these gentlemen be speaking?
If you have questions about design, they might.
Do you want to proactively swear in, or do we wait?
It's entirely up to you, Chair.
Let's wait.
You got it.
They already stand by.
Gentlemen, if you have anything to say, please just raise your hands, okay?
All right.
Okay, so at the beginning, you were saying there was a confusion about 84 feet. And I see that in here, we have that there's 84 square feet of surface disturbance. That's where that came from.
And that surface disturbance is distributed amongst the several pits.
Yes.
One. Okay. All right. Committee, Member Magnuson.
Yes, I did have some comments on page 1 in the project description. You say that there are 2 tie-in points, but I counted 3 on your figures and in the design. Let's see, on page 9, the in-text citation for Huckle 1996, there should be a space between Huckle and 1996. On page 11 and 12, the second half of the paragraph on first paragraph on page 12 is not about agricultural strategies, and seems to fit better with the last paragraph of page 11.
Okay.
Then also, third paragraph of page 12, you list Pindi Pueblo and Agua Fria twice as examples. And then I didn't recognize the last name Shkik. So I was wondering if it was a spelling error. So I went to look in the references cited and it wasn't there.
That's probably Sherry Schick.
It's almost gotta be.
Yeah, probably. I was like, seems misspelled.
I can hear her squirming in her chair, going, why can't they ever spell my name right?
Would you mind repeating
Yeah.
what page that was on?
Page 12.
12.
Page 12. Yeah. On page 21, during your review of the previously recorded archaeological sites, I think it's supposed to be that you reviewed within 500 meters, not 50.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Very first line.
Yep.
On page 35, you give examples of what you consider to be large features, but you don't give any of what you consider to be a small feature. So I would like some clarity on what that would be. Oh, my notes uploaded out of order. So last comment, jumping back to page 26, on the last paragraph, to the fourth paragraph on page 27. That discussion is about Catherine Mackenzie Irvine, and it seems like it belongs in the Jose Duran grant discussion instead of the 20th century development discussion.
All right, Shelby, anything else?
That was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelby. Member Treese.
I had one comment on page 22 of the report. That would be 29 of the PDF. Third line down, middle of the line, we have Catherine Mackenzie Irvine, but with an X instead of a Z.
So what page on the PDF?
It's 29 on the PDF.
Oh, I mean the report itself.
22.
It's 24 on the report. I'm sorry. Third line down,
Yes.
middle of that line
Mackenzie,
with a Z, an X instead of a Z.
well, it might be pronounced the same way. Anything else? Sue?
No, that was it.
All right. While flipping through pages here, the reference to figure 4. I do see they match. At first I thought they did not. Page 33. Monitoring expectations, that first paragraph. Third sentence from the end, beginning additionally,
Mhm.
a reference to a late 19th century powder house that may or may not have been present begs a citation for the source of that information.
From the map. I think it was cited somewhere else as being from the map. Where it was, when it was discussed previously, but I can cite it there too. You wanna know what figure that was? Figure 12. It's not in the project area, it's just something of note.
Okay, if it's on that map, it's not in figure 12 as far as I can tell. And
Well, it is, it's just hers. See,
is it that little blur beneath Mrs.?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's.
can't read it. Okay, never mind. Interesting, two powder houses, because there's another one north.
There's another one north there too.
Yeah, and it's still standing.
Really?
It's in the parking lot of the Universal Unitarian Church.
Oh, near the military museum.
On
the corner of Cordova there, right?
It's just north of
Yeah.
Portland.
Mm-hmm. I've never gone in that parking lot, but maybe I will.
Go check it out. The building is very interesting.
Cool.
Page 35. Talking about methods. Fourth full paragraph. Says he will photograph and draw profiles of sediments in all large pits. Why wouldn't you draw and photograph small pits to verify your observation and characterization?
I wonder if we were trying to distinguish the pits that we could see stratigraphy in and the ones we could not.
Well, in my lifetime, I must confess, I've wasted hundreds of hours looking at thousands of photographs of shovel test pits put in by people who work in the southeast quadrant of the state. And it only took me 15 years of standing on my ear saying, don't show me something that doesn't show anything. Show me something that shows something. And if it's all the same, great. It's in your records, but you don't need to put it in the report because I'm going blind trying to read things. You need to characterize the sediments, yes? If you can't draw it, say so. But if people can draw a profile of a shovel test, I guarantee you a shovel test is smaller than a handhole. So you ought to be able to profile a handhole.
So profile all profilable pits.
It's just a good thing to do because we need to document what we saw. And in documenting what we saw, we say, yeah, here it is. Can't see much. Well, you've made your point. But if you don't show it, how's anybody going to know? And one last thing, this gets into the realm of my favorite subject and borders into folklore. When they built the hospital, several people, including the person I took to be the head nurse at the time, informed us that they knew there were people buried on that property and that it might be haunted. And subsequently and independently, looking at ownership records and old maps and tracking names of people who were affiliated with state prison management, owned the land here in yonder. There was a parcel that they had some relation to. And there is, again, scuttlebutt amongst survivors of the old state pen that people were taken out in dark of night and planted on Joe's property. Now, there's an undocumented cemetery on the NIMDOT property that probably hasn't been moved. There's an undocumented cemetery under a certain retirement home down off Galisteo that hasn't been documented, and they probably have not been removed. So there is every likelihood that there could be people in the ground somewhere vicinity of one of your bore pits. It's on page 4 of 5 of this illustration. It's the northernmost point on this stretch, the jog there.
Yeah.
There's a bore pit right at the corner. All of what's designated parcel 8 could be a reason for heightened awareness.
Okay.
And that doesn't rule out parcel 7. But parcel 8 is the focus of it. And somebody at some point took great pains to avoid that little corner with construction of infrastructure. You're going to find sewer lines entering parcels 7 and 8 from the north. One will be coming in at about this line on your figure 4-5 or page 4 or 5. And the other one's coming in off the end of Camino Teresa. And for whatever reason, they very judiciously avoided that whole corner instead of building their sewer line the way people most often build sewer line. There could have been functional reasons to do that, leading suspicious people like me to go down the primrose path, but nevertheless, wanted to pass that on so that in case you start feeling an itching on the back of your neck, there might be a reason for it.
I thought you were gonna say you had seen a ghost.
I've been out there a lot. I've never been out there at night. Since COVID, the heightened security is such that I'd be afraid to get stopped.
Can I ask you where we could find that information in the future? Your head. So you're the undocumented cemetery expert?
Well, I'm junior. Senior is Dr. Alicia Abbott. She spotted this piece of property on old plats and said, that's interesting. Unfortunately, since you can't usefully go to the county and look at old plats anymore without some dispensation from John, I wouldn't know where to point you to. And I don't think she knows where to point you to because these were noted on plats that were being pursued for other reasons. And I just saw it at the corner of a plat. And without the ability to actually usefully search over there, never gonna find it again. In effect, the records are. But people telling stories, they're often wrong, but there's always a kernel of truth. And if they're off by half a mile, great. If they're not off by half a mile, look out.
It'd be good to work on a project to compile that information.
Golly, wouldn't it? But we can't get people to pay us to do stuff we have to do. Let alone on research to do things that might be useful.
Okay. Well, we will cite you.
Personal communication, I guess,
Yeah.
relaying folklore.
Okay, so mostly in parcel 8, but in leading into parcel 7.
Yeah, the boundaries offered on that illustration, I think, refer to old ownership parcels. The history of how the hospital acquired this land. And if those are accurate, then it should be entirely an 8, but
Okay.
if those are not accurate, then, and as you know, every cemetery has undocumented adjuncts added just over the fence,
Totally.
so.
Okay, well, thanks for that.
One bore pit is not likely to hit anything, but
You
geez,
never
don't
know.
be surprised.
Yeah.
And that is all.
Thank you.
Staff,
Hi, I have a comment, Chair Eck.
yes.
In reading, the page 36 in the last paragraph, where it says BZ Fiber will begin construction 15 days of obtaining archaeological authorization, and when the construction is to take place in April. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that you have to do your due diligence through our permitting department. So that date would be according to your approvals through the permit department.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
was
just
from our
archaeological.
previous, we tried to submit this a month earlier, and
Mhm.
it fell through the cracks on your
Okay.
end. And that was just, that date is a remnant there.
Okay.
I also recently found out that, HPD wants 30 days
Okay.
after you guys approve it.
Yeah, so you
that's
have to do your due
And then-
diligence through permits.
Additional month after you guys. approve it.
Okay.
So,
Great. Yeah, that, so it can go through its permit process and everything, just so we're clear, we're approving
Yeah.
those times.
Totally. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like that changed in the report?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So if we are at an end of commentary, we can contemplate a motion.
I move that we accept 012231 with the change of the timing of the start of construction based on permit process. And also with due diligence due to potential ghosts.
Fair enough. We have a motion.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Hi.
Motion carries. Thank you. Move on to the next case.
Oh,
2026-11949. Shauna Environmental Research and Consulting Agent for the Liberty Development Group applicant requests approval of an archaeological reconnaissance report for 6.82 acres of proposed ground disturbance at 4680 San Ignacio Road in the Suburban Archaeological Review District. Thank Heather for the report. Staff, do you know of anything that needs to change?
I can only bring one thing to mind, Chair Eck, is that the applicant contacted staff today to add additional information.
Okay.
And, I declined that request, because the board or the committee has stated in the past that, once the packet is distributed, that additional information, is not difficult to be reviewed after the packet's been out.
Okay, fair enough.
So, and I recommended they postpone to a later hearing, but that is up to the committee.
Okay, if the additional information is short, concise, and uncomplicated, we might be able to consider it, but if it's lengthy and materially differs from what's been presented, then we. So,
It has been updated in project design,
an update in project design.
which has modified our treatment recommendation.
It's pretty straightforward. We love the opportunity to present and see what you're comfortable with.
Okay, we may have another person.
Yeah.
My apologies, Chair.
It's okay.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Jennifer Jenkins, 130 Grant Avenue.
Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth? And do this under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Before I turn it over to you guys, I want to say one thing about staff report, and I think it has holdover language from something drafted earlier.
Previously,
It's the recommendations. The archaeologist recommends that the site is not eligible for listing. The documentation presented says that they are recommending it eligible for listing.
okay.
So just so you know, that doesn't add up. So there you go. You have the floor. What do we need to know?
Do you want to present the design change?
Sure, I can do that. I'm gonna go ahead and hand that. And really what's relevant is on the second page, but then I'll go ahead and share my screen for the benefit of Committee Member Magnuson. Can you elevate me?
Yes.
Ms. Romero, thank you.
I surely will. Okay, go ahead and put in your request to share screen.
So we're looking at the site plan, the proposed multifamily community on, page 1. And, the left side of the page is north. And so the site that was identified is in the far south end of the project on the right-hand side of the page, closest to Cerritos Road. And, what we have outlined in red is the boundary of the site. And then the, kind of rectilinear gold area is the avoidance area. And if you go to the second page, we have no option really. We must connect a sewer line that you see on the far west of the site. On the second page, you see a water line that is outside of the site, which is great, along our west boundary. But then a little further east, we have a sewer line. It also is outside of the avoidance area, but it is technically within the site boundary. We are connecting to an existing manhole, so we don't get to choose where that connection happens. This is the only place that we can serve this project with city sewer. And so what you see in the little square would be a small little utility building, which would be a lift station. And so as this kind of design, we've been doing a lot of work on how the sewer was going to work. And so some of this came to light after the April 7th report. So I immediately got with Veronica and Brenda and said, we do need to do some trenching through here. And so in light of that, they are recommending that activity, of course, be monitored. And in this area, even before we knew that there was a site here, this was designated to be an outdoor open space amenity, for the community. And so we would propose, we don't need to do any other work in this area, but we do need to do some trenching that we would propose to monitor. And we also really are excited about the opportunity for some interpretive signage that talks about the history of the place. And this is referenced in the memo that they wrote, just kind of updating the situation. So so obviously avoidance, so we're outside of the, like I said, that rectilinear avoidance area. And I can obviously let the archaeologists speak more to their treatment recommendations.
Yeah, so initially we thought we could avoid the whole site boundary. So the whole thing was avoidance. And since now we cannot, we're within the site boundary, we sort of had a modified open space treatment plan, which we identified this avoidance area, which is basically the footprint that you can see on the 69 aerial plus 15 feet. And that's the area in yellow. We also propose that we'll do some surface collection, you know, we're trying to follow the code for treatment. Do some surface collection, either for curation or as part of interpretation of the site. That could be somehow incorporated into interpretive signage, in the open space. And then also monitoring of all ground disturbance, within the site boundaries. And we were positing that this area, this far southeast, southwest corner of the site has lower potential, for intact subsurface deposits. But of course, we would monitor that activity. And if there's any other, property boundary fencing that's within the site boundary, we would monitor that as well. So that was our modified treatment plan.
Okay. Committee, do you have questions, comments? Member Treese?
I like the pictures. There's a lot of words here. And I don't have enough time to focus on them. I'm glad to see how this is coming together. It looks like the lift station is gonna be in more or less where the debris pile is that right?
And where that feature for the fence line.
There was a couple of fence posts.
Fence posts, two looked older and two.
Yeah, I had a lot of, I don't know how, should we deal with this separately? Or deal with this? Or deal with the whole thing? I'm kind of confused as to where we're gonna go.
So we need to deal with the whole thing.
Okay,
What you're looking at in the supplemental material is nuance to what was presented in the document itself. And to the extent to which that changes perspectives on appropriate treatment, well, then that'll come up when it's time for that to come up.
I appreciated that you had some more information, the historical background of not only the Packards, but also trying to figure out what's going on. I know how difficult it is sometimes to figure out what's going on with properties in campaign. Speaking from the, putting on my hard hat and talking about remodels. I've had so many questions because there are just the new excavations, the test units that you did showed me information that didn't make any sense from a construction standpoint. And then, you're talking about the debris that you found. I mean, the time frame of I still think there's a number of different building episodes that went on. Nobody in the 50s was, or even the 40s, was building a house out of pen tile because by the time the 30s came around, they saw what a pain in the butt that stuff was.
Yeah.
I
suspect they were building the wall.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it was probably a perimeter wall, yard wall, because that would be a perfect use for it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you found stem walls with J bolts in it means that there was framing there, and her comment that she lived in an adobe home. She just lived in a house with deep framing.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people will say that. My home is a movie. Um, I'm really glad that, you know. I mean, I kind of feel like sometimes, I would like every site dealt with the same way, and I'm not saying that you didn't, but you know, at some point in 150 years, somebody's gonna look at that and go, I wonder what went on there, you know? And it's just like, it's not a pit house that was places in this time frame and earlier, you know, like 150-year-old adobe on the east side. I mean, my first house that I lived in Santa Fe was over on Gomez Road, South Capitol, and it was a crazy house. I've worked on a lot of crazy houses in Santa Fe, all over. But I think it's important that, you know, all of those places get memorialized in ways that some archaeologists in, you know, 25, to coin it, a lyric from a song. Could come back and say, oh, here's the report for that, you know. Too bad, you know, all we have for a lot of stuff that was built in 25, we have to make up what it is. So, I would suggest, and I know that as a developer, you have probably contractors that you work with, maybe get them to help the archaeologists look at more modern construction so that they can interpret what they see better.
No, I think it was a great idea. I think that we're really excited about, you know, the opportunity to memorialize this. We have a massive amount of research that will be, you know, maintained in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And so we know a lot more now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting for sure. And so we're really excited about the opportunity to incorporate some, you know, interpretive opportunities here.
That's all I have. I don't have to think about this. I'm happy that this is here.
You can chime in again later if something else occurs to you.
If I may, Member Megson,
Yes.
Manager Mokino emailed you the memorandum they're referring to. If you want to check the email, so that way you can be on the same page as the members here.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Pardon me, Chair.
Should we give you some time to look at that, Shelby, before I come to you?
Yes, I'd appreciate that.
All right, then bear with me. I'm going to do my usual pedantic thing.
I think one thing I just wanted to add was, it was great to see the aerial photograph from '69 and the overlay.
Yeah, that came out really well,
There,
didn't
that
it?
helped a lot. Because in my mind, I couldn't see what was going on the last time we had
Yep,
this
yep.
presentation. That helped the whole.
Yeah, that was just another technical thing that
Yeah.
really helped visually. Yeah. Agree.
Okay, cool.
We were just so psyched that it lined up so perfectly with what we had found. We were like, whoa.
It doesn't happen.
I know.
Almost like they built
We
it that
knew
way.
we knew that.
So on your site form, page 13 of 19. I didn't get into the digital copy of this and do any searches, but you will note that in the last word of the very first line, something did you a disfavor. It's rubble, not rumble. Whether it's spell check or voice recognition or God knows. And that appears, 3 lines later, same word. And so rumble may make itself known elsewhere in your report. You might want to just search for that.
Got it.
Oh, by the way, I have a name for your open space.
Oh,
Call it Packard Park. And it'll make a great buffer between the loud and obnoxious
Yeah.
street and
oh no,
The residents.
absolutely, yeah. I think it's great.
Thank you for putting a test unit right around the suspicious pipe. Apologize for the suspicious odor that you encountered. Were you able to determine, is that cap threaded onto said pipe, or is it somehow other fastened onto that said pipe?
I imagine it's threaded, but we couldn't move it at all.
Does it look like
Yeah.
this kind of a
Mhm.
cap, so it could potentially hide the threads?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we would have, that's what we would have guessed.
Well, this being outside of the city at the time, God knows what semblance of a code anybody was following. But it is distinctly possible that that is access to a gas storage.
Mm-hmm.
Very propane, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And so
And maybe
That
that's why they,
fitting is odd because the facility is odd and they cobbled it together out of whatever. And so thank you for looking.
and it seemed like, yeah, they reburied that area and with some kind of debris, that strange tar asphalt that is very dark colored. So maybe it was dug up and then refilled, but it's hard to really tell what was going on there.
Page 48 of your report. Your management recommendations, somewhat changed as you testified, but the crux of the matter is unchanged. You're going to bury it with a certain amount of clean film. And you're going to, attempt to establish grass or something to keep said clean fill from blowing to Texas. Maybe cover it with rock, zero-scape it.
Another
Something to
idea
keep
that-
it from blowing to Texas, just so that there's something protecting the archaeology from activity.
Yeah, so that was our original idea. Jennifer came up with an idea that maybe we want to leave the surface features exposed to be able to interpret it better, to tell the story of that place. And, and what you're saying, stabilize the soil, of course, so that the soil doesn't blow away, but not necessarily cap it completely.
Okay. Just subjectively, do you think what's exposed on the surface could survive 2 years, let alone 2 generations?
I think it would
Kids
get
and
reburied.
miscreants out there messing with it.
It's survived this amount of time, and there's been a lot of potentially nefarious activity on this site historically.
Yeah.
And so I think it's gonna be more protected because it's just gonna be an outdoor for the residents. It'll be more controlled, it'll be managed. So we kind of dig the idea of, having something that is visible. But in situ,
Well, think about that, because protecting it is going to be a chore. Burying it, you pretty much are done protecting it, as long as there's control of future activity.
Right.
Which leads me to inquire about the possibility of putting an easement on this. to make sure that future activity does not occur in that area. As in somebody fires up a backhoe and says, my God, we're gonna, and goodbye, without talking to somebody. If there's an easement, at least it's a piece of paper you can waive. I don't know. We can't require easements. I'm just suggesting it as a useful tool to help control things. Same later, page 48, you talked about that same recommendation, burying it, etc. Okay.
It's nice that most of those other footings are already about 20 centimeters buried. They're already protected. The ones we found on the subsurface.
This thing, which is the last page of this thing you attach to your report. It shows an oval where the site is. You know, that's not exactly its shape, but looking at that, I was struck by the two curvilinear lines that are crossing said oval, and I see that those two curvilinear lines are repeated on this figure that we've provided. What are those?
I believe those are utility easements. Existing.
Well, there's a note to something that might end with a Y, easement, the left-hand edge of this thing.
Here, I can pull it up.
And it may say utility easement, and it says it's 20 feet wide. I thought.
Give me 1 second. I have it. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says utility.
Yeah. And there's an overhead that is north of the site, and then
Right.
there's utility easements along the southern boundary.
So there's two utility easements. I only see a call out to one. What would be the second one?
Pulling up the-
Oh, the other one's existing power line,
No,
overhead line.
That's on the north side.
Yeah,
that's on the north side.
on the north
These are
side.
both
Oh,
along
these are
the
both
south
on the
edge.
south
There's
side.
PNM
They're
gas.
parallel.
There's the
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was marking a corridor and thinking, okay, here's an easement and these are the limits, but no, it's two different symbols. So it's
Oh,
two
you're
different
talking about
somethings,
that.
one of which is a
Yeah, it got
utility
cut out.
easement and maybe the other one is another kind of a utility easement, but.
So
what
I'm
is it?
pulling up the lot of record plat from 2023. And so what this is showing, and it's possible there could be some line work. This is an, kind of an illustrative architecturally prepared site plan, right? So what we see here is there's a 20-foot utility easement that runs right along the southern boundary. And then this is the overhead power line here. And I'm showing it. And
Sorry.
that's okay. And that's as big as I'm pretty zoomed in, but I can
You're
zoom in a
good, you're good.
little more. And then, so we have 10 feet on the north side of the site. And then, we have this 20 feet. So there may be an extra line on that drawing that isn't indicative of anything.
Okay.
Ms. Jenkins, can you go out a little bit more so I could see the text on that where it's calling out the two?
Yeah.
The one says 20.
20 utility and the 10 is up here where the overhead. Yeah.
I believe that's the part that got cut off.
And those labels are the same as the ones on the color versions in the report. What is not the same is that there's a second line.
Yeah.
Parallel to the first curved line along the south edge.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to match.
And I'm gonna call that an error, because this is our record plat, so this is gonna supersede this.
Whatever.
That one. Maybe that's a good thought, Carl. Maybe it's a setback line. Which would be 15 feet.
So if the dark dash is 20 feet, the little
That's
narrow dash would be less than 20.
Yeah, it doesn't quite jive.
It's close, but
Yeah, but. Yeah, so I think
Amanda?
Mr. Summer, if you're gonna speak, you need to be sworn in. Just saying.
Just saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well. There's gonna be some kind of something happening along this alignment by virtue of the existence of the utility easement and whatever else, if there is another thing there.
But the easement is existing for existing facilities. So it's not something we're creating new.
Right, but if somebody digs it up, they have to be controlled. Which is, again, back to my suggestion that you put an easement on the site boundary, not on the avoidance area, to make sure that nobody does nothing inside of the easement without your say-so and an opportunity to monitor.
Okay. I'll be happy to discuss that with my client.
It just seems like the simplest way to keep everybody's ducks in a row. Rather than have a map that says this is this, and another map that says that's that. And if somebody cares about A but not B, well,
Right.
we've lost everything. If there is anything in these other areas.
That is along the tree line. That easement. Existing tree
And
line.
if we're gonna leave those trees,
Yeah, we're gonna leave them.
that's additional barrier. So the lift station is on the sewer line, and the sewer line is aimed at a manhole that's in the highway department right away.
Well, no, it's in, I think the manhole here, I'll pull it up real quick. I think the manhole is actually not in the road, because there's, but I can fill that up. Give me 2 seconds. There's a kind of a piece of right away. It's city right away actually in there. It is not DOT.
It's the DOT. so it
Yeah, the
gets
DOT
complicated.
right away doesn't start until you get down south of Beckner Road. The city and the DOT did they finally, the city finally took over. So the kind of the urban portion of that. So let me just turn this on real quick. I can share this. Yeah, it's the manhole is on, it's not in the road, but
It's on city right away.
but it's within this kind of triangle,
Yeah.
little island of right away. Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned Beckner. Because the gentleman who caused the ruckus yesterday somehow used Beckner in a dirt road through a gap in the fence to get onto the wrong way of I-25 and leave the police on a chase the wrong way.
So you can see now, this is, the green is the sewer line, and that's our manhole right there.
Sweet. So
So we're not
very
tearing up.
reasonable. You're gonna go straight at it.
Straight
we're gonna
at it.
Monitor it, and
Yeah,
we'll see a plan, and everybody will be happy.
exactly.
So, I think all my questions have been answered. Member Magnuson, have you caught up with reading?
Yes, I have. I
What
agree
do you
with
have?
what you were saying earlier about, I think a plan is appropriate, especially to know the extents of the disturbance for the sewer line. And since this did greatly change what the treatment plan now is, it's no longer going to be sterile fill over it. It's now going to maybe be an open space area, and that has additional concerns because you're now inviting people into the space, which can be protective at times, but also can be detrimental.
So while we're not in a position to lobby one way or the other, I guess, we're trying to consider what's presented and decide if it's reasonable. Do you have anything else to offer about site protection?
Um, I do think an easement, archaeological easement, would be a good idea. Is it? I think only Archaeology Southwest does those currently, but you could see if they're open to it.
We have numerous easements on the record within the city of Santa Fe, memorialized on hundreds of plats and routinely ignored by almost everybody. And I don't think Archaeology Southwest holds any of those easements, so whatever flavor of easement that is what it would be. So if you've got nothing further, then we can have someone craft a motion. Implicit in this is if we approve this, we are agreeing that we believe the site to be significant and worthy of protection and preservation. But you need not go to great lengths to say so in your motion, that we're simply doing the usual. We're going to approve or not.
I just have one more question. If these are setbacks and easement lines, where the lift station is gonna go, what impact does that have on the actual location of the lift station?
Well,
I guess that's a question for staff.
and, you know, the lift station has not been completely designed.
Uh-huh.
You know, and so we have some flexibility on where it sits,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be in that general area. But it's all about the grades and, you know, everything's pressurized.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a little flexibility.
You could potentially move it out of
Yeah.
that other easement just to keep them happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I guess what I'm implying though is that puts it maybe, I don't know how far.
Yeah, we will definitely,
goes up this
we'll have no impact on the avoidance area.
Okay,
We're not concerned about that.
okay. Okay,
Well, we are concerned with the whole site, not the
Right.
avoidance area.
Understood.
So
yeah.
if they,
Well, I guess
if they
that's what I'm
move the
saying.
lift
It
station
moves within
20 feet,
within the-
it'll still be
It'll still be in the boundary.
monitored, it'll still be
Right.
the same situation
Okay. Just a bigger hole.
in a slightly different location.
Yeah. Well. Who do we propose the easement?
We've suggested that it would be a useful tool. We cannot enforce it or require an
We
easement.
ask.
We would be willing to entertain such proposals from the proponent and would accept such a thing as a reasonable and good faith effort to preserve and protect this archaeological site, etc. When it's memorialized on the plat and filed with the city, it could become official, and then we would be happy, the city would be happy, and presumably the proponent would be happy. But we cannot say thou shalt do that. Just thinking it's easier to handle the situation if I owned it, if I did that.
Yeah.
Because it'd give me an additional stick to use against somebody who wants to come through with a backhoe and
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah. In a motion, we can suggest an easement, is that right?
Well,
We can suggest anything, basically.
I think you could probably suggest on this. But if such a thing were adopted, it would be another case, it would be another consideration, it would be another yes or no vote on by this group. And then it would be memorialized on the plat and filed with the city. But there is no such thing proposed at present, and all we have is a statement that we're going to protect it and avoid it, except we're not. We're gonna avoid part of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna monitor what's left.
We have the ability to ask questions and ask you if you are opposed to the idea of making that an archaeological easement.
I personally,
Beyond just protecting it and making it an educational.
so I, am not in a position to make that call. As you know, I'm not the owner, I'm not the applicant.
Right.
So what I can say is we would absolutely consider that, and that may be the direction, but it's not something I can commit to tonight.
The proposal is to, make it an educational, leave it open and make it an educational.
And work with our experts and, for proper interpretive signage that is meaningful and accurate and incorporate it into the space, yeah.
And how I know that what's exposed is some concrete. I assume that the pipes that come up will be buried because they have some danger, but I think they also need to have a mark of some sort, because especially if that one is a propane tank that's buried, you don't want somebody going in there with a backhoe,
right,
blowing up the whole place. I think the 4-inch is probably sanitary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what's the, here's my non-archaeological opinion, which is if we approve this as it is, then they're not necessarily required to do anything. Is that right? Other than what they've said in here, which is put some signs up and
the monitoring.
and say be careful. Yeah, that part. But I mean, as far as preserving, most of Chaco is exposed. People wander around that all the time.
Yeah, it's also been rebuilt.
Yeah.
Large parts of it. Distinctive pink concrete. The gist of it is.
I mean, I see safety issues. I mean, I'm just gonna say that right off. I see safety issues. I think burying it is the safest way, and just say, here's our interpretive sign. We buried this house here.
Yeah.
Or
Or
don't
you
even
could
say
even-
that.
Yeah.
You could
Say,
even put
once
like a
stood on
footprint.
this location.
Yeah,
You can make the footprint out of rocks or something, you know, on top.
So,
That's not-
as we dug into this and looked at the, the various options, um, capping and vegetating and irrigating and all these things has a not insignificant price tag associated with it. And based on the city code, we're looking at a funding limit of $4,680. Not quite sure how far that's gonna get us.
various pipes.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, so it's kind of like,
Crushed
I'd rather do I don't wanna do something halfway or in a way that is, doesn't quite get you there.
Yeah.
So we would, but yeah, safety, of course, I mean, that is paramount. And so, it's like I said, surface debris and, all those types of things. But, and I think we all can agree, leaving it in situ is, I'm not an archaeologist either, as you all know. So, but the way I've been educated in this is that in situ is often the best option. So leave it where it is, leave it as it is. And, but having some surface features, like I said, I think it creates more of an educational opportunity and it creates more interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this as a suggestion? We could approve the report, agreeing that we think the site is eligible, and stipulate that the long-term plan for the avoidance and preservation of the site will be brought to this group as another action item.
We could bring it in with the monitoring plan, for example.
There you go, bring the whole thing.
Sure.
into one.
Yeah.
Because the monitoring plan is an invasion of the place to be
Right.
protected, therefore it's a logical spot to put the long-term protection plan.
Yeah.
And then the questions about whether or not somebody is willing to put a certain kind of an easement on it or not can be resolved before that document. Back, and then that treatment plan for this site would have several components: monitoring of immediate construction impact, and then X, Y, or Z for long-term preservation protection. And then it can all be laid out and there won't be any unknowns.
Right.
Yeah, but it would find that acceptable.
Okay. All right. Then I make a motion that we approve the report. We look forward to seeing the monitoring plan. Let's see, what's our number here? Move that we approve 011949 with the additional materials that were provided tonight. And we look forward to seeing the monitoring plan and see what else you come up with.
Staff, do you think that captures it?
I believe, the wording "look forward to seeing," may not work for the, board action letter, so we might be a little bit more firm on exactly what you're wanting to see.
In the monitoring plan.
Well,
Or I leave it out altogether.
no, it's a contingency.
Okay.
We aren't just gonna approve it and walk away.
Right.
We need to see something in step 2, and that's a monitoring plan and treatment plan for long-term protection and preservation.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a thing.
As a condition of approval.
As
Okay.
a condition of approval.
Okay. And can I say, as so mentioned, I move that we.
They will write it down.
Move that we approve 011949 as suggested by staff for the report and the monitoring plan and for future preservation.
Okay. I think the intent is clear. The verbiage will be massaged by Amanda and made to be like English.
According to Hoyle, yeah.
We.
Sorry, it cut out for a minute there. Has it been seconded?
Did you hear the motion?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what I'm fishing for is any further commentary from you and a second.
I think my main comment is John Murphy's last name seemed to be spelled inconsistently through the report. Sometimes it had an E, sometimes it didn't. And then for the criteria B, you mentioned that it's only for the productive aspects of an adult's life, but that's not quite what it says in the National Register Bulletin. It says associated with the adult or productive life of an individual. So that wording could be fixed. But that was all my comments.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, I totally didn't even think about that.
And there is a motion on the floor. Do you second?
Yes, I do second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
We look forward to seeing a blend of several flavors.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And given that the location of the sewer line and this lift station is behind the house, you may find some sewage facilities.
Oh, apropos.
Yeah. What goes around comes around.
Good night.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
The next case is
Steve now became Steve.
item C, new, is case number 2026-12233. Nicole Ramirez Thomas, agent for HomeWise, requests approval for final treatment report for Los Prados subdivision located in the vicinity of 4911 South Meadows Road in the River and Trails Archaeological Review District. We have Heather's staff report. And Amanda, is there any need to change anything on that?
No changes at this point, Chair Eck.
Thank you. I have a question. Researched the record and could not find a follow-up. What follow-up would you have anticipated? Or is it just that nothing's happened since then, and so now's the appropriate time to ask?
If now you may know more, but as far as I know, that it had got previously approved for clearance, and now they're coming to do maybe a different portion of it. So we want to make sure that everything is captured.
Just got lost in the jungle of
Upwards.
of words, yes. All right, so. Nicole,
Yes.
Nice work, Ruth. Nicole, will you please state your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Nicole Ramirez Thomas, and my address is P.O. Box 8337, South Lake Tahoe, California 96158.
Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, and do this under the penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, you have the floor. What do you need to tell us?
I don't have much to add. I think I'm not really sure where the ambiguity was in looking at this form, and the coverage for the project. And it looks like it was initially submitted 10/26/04 and then officially approved 2/3/2005, and the minutes that are attached to the case reflect that. And so this was just brought forward by request or requirement of the land use director. So I'm happy to answer any questions if there's any questions.
All right, thank you, Nicole.
Sure.
Member Magnuson, any questions, comments?
Yes, I was curious how you determined that no new archaeological or historic resources were observed since it was last surveyed in 2004.
I would say that that is because there has been nothing done to this lot. And so it looks pretty much identical to how it did at that time. And then there was another survey that was done on this property for a county project, and it also had the same results. So, and then, you know, it did receive clearance in 2005.
Okay.
If that's all for now, we'll move to member Treese.
That's weird. I am, because I'm still sort of new with all of this, I'm really confused as to why we're looking at something that's 20 years old. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's just because I don't know the ins and outs of some of this stuff. I come at it from a construction viewpoint, which says that if a permit is issued to one person to build a house, and that person after some point decides not to build the house, they the owners of the project will get another contractor, and that permit will go away and be put in a new name. So I don't understand. That's my problem. I don't understand how some of this stuff works in this type of business. So
can I take a crack at this? The city code is structured to clear, unfortunate word. The city code is structured to approve the development of parcels. The context is a certain project with certain parameters, but the bottom line is if when it's all done, we say, okay, it is the parcel that is now open for development. It doesn't matter what's going to be built there. They could put a nuclear power plant here, and other than FERC requirements and federal involvement, the city would be done because we've already approved the development of that parcel. Life got complicated when it was first proposed for something under county, and now it's sort of in the city. And the county was going to do X and the city was going to do Y, and then nobody did either of those. And meanwhile, somebody built 3/4 of this originally proposed and approved subdivision. This is the last piece of it. And we're just trying to fill in the blanks. And so from the viewpoint of city code, the parcel has been approved for development. There shouldn't really be any gray area here.
So, I guess then the question is, why is it coming back to us?
It was the land use director required its review. Oh.
The feed has frozen.
I can hear again. I jumped out and then came back in, but Shelby, can you hear?
I can't hear them. I can hear you.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I'm getting to.
I'm in the same boat.
So hopefully, I texted them and Jennifer. So,
Cole, you're not muted.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. We just couldn't hear. We were like in a room by ourselves, we thought. So,
Sorry, our microphone keeps going out, and
Oh.
I've requested that IT change it, but that has not happened. So sorry.
So I'm not sure what conversation happened, but the only reason that we've submitted this is because the land use director was requiring that it come to you. And so,
And I can say, her background in summary, she said regarding future treatment, an easement as outlined in the ARC, external policies, and adaptive reconstruction of the acequia, which will require final ARC approval.
and then,
So she can, and as a result, staff is presenting this case for final review by the ARC. So that, Director Lamboy is not here, but that is what her staff report indicates why it's here.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard, Nicole, I was saying I can see on Google Earth that when the area to the north of the current parcel was developed, the acequia adaptive reconstruction was accomplished.
yes.
You can see Google Earth, it's there, it's done. It shouldn't be a matter of conjecture at this point, so we can have a quick little motion to say something along the lines of, yes, this meets our requirements and the development may proceed as per the original approval.
Okay, my questions have been answered.
So you could say, for instance, so moved.
Did Shelby have any?
Well, she has another chance here.
No, I have nothing.
All right.
Okay. I move that we approve 012233 as presented.
We have a motion,
I second.
moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Berkman, thank you so much for accommodating this schedule change. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks, Charek and Treese, member Treese, and new member Magasin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What if she put an upbeat spin on that? She didn't offer her condolence. All right. Moving on to case number 2026-012090, SWCA Environmental Consultants, Agent for Dominion Due Diligence. Applicant requests approval for archaeological reconnaissance report for 6.5 acres at 3471 Cereus Road in the Suburban Archaeological Review District. Thank you for your staff report, Amanda. Anything to add?
No, Chair Eck, nothing to add.
I will obnoxiously stipulate that your staff report talks about archaeological monitoring when it was reconnaissance.
Yeah. Where does it say that? Because mine says reconnaissance.
Very first line, SWCA is requesting approval for reconnaissance report for archaeological monitoring investigation. It's just. All right.
Thank you, Charek.
Bye, Jen.
Thank you.
So you'll have to be identified and sworn in, sir.
Mr. Berkman, can you hear us?
How's it going? Yep.
No, will you please state your name and address for the record?
Joseph Berkman, 6632 Casa Loma Northeast, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87109.
Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you have in reference to this item shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, and do this under the penalties of perjury?
Yes, indeed. I do.
Thank you very much.
Joseph, you have the floor. Do you need to say anything in addition to what has already been presented in the document?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. So then you will stand for questions.
Sure.
And start with member Magasin.
Yes, so this is more of a question for the other members of the chair and maybe HPD staff. So I've noticed both case 011949 and 012090. This one, they are under the limits needed for Santa Fe ARC permitting for subdivision development. And I was wondering if there was another trigger that sent them to us for review.
Staff, do you want to take a shot at that?
I can provide a response as former staff if you would like.
Sure.
Sure, Nicole. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the idea is to so rather oftentimes when there's a development, it exceeds the linear trenching requirement in the code. And if you have a piece of raw land, you should be surveying it and identifying what you can see. And so in recent cases, as best practice, archaeologists and developers are doing a survey to determine if there's anything visible before any like digging or grading or anything like that happens. And then if there is an archaeological site, or if there is a concern that the ARC identifies, then monitoring can be required. And then someone would come back with a monitoring plan, but hopefully more focused than just watching the trenching and potentially seeing archaeological sites at that point.
Okay.
So it's more of a best practice.
Very
Okay, that
nice
makes sense.
explanation.
Yes, thank
Very
you so
nice.
much.
And so that's a prompt for me to slap myself across the face and ask for forgiveness for having criticized Ms. Amanda for the phrasing of her staff report, because the trigger was indeed the monitoring requirement. And as Nicole pointed out, it makes far more sense to survey the parcel and know what you're doing better than it is to go in blind and monitor a few trenches.
Okay, then I think I would like that more clear in the, sorry, going back to Joseph. I would like it more clear in your report that you are doing this in order to meet the requirement for the utilities, because while it says it in the NIAF, you then cite both the utility ordinance and the subdivision ordinance. And you say that and it says that any development on, actually page 2 of the NIAF, it says that. No, wait, where is that? I did not actually put a note on where it says in the report that any development is required. Oh, okay, page 1 of the report in the introduction. Yeah, it says any new construction of undeveloped land needs to be surveyed. According to
clarify that.
Yeah, that's not what that section of the code says. So maybe remove that and focus more on the utilities. And maybe just a discussion of what kinds of utilities are expected. Like, is there going to be natural gas? Is there going to be electric, water? Like, natural gas isn't an always confirmed thing for subdivisions. And I think that was all my comments.
Thank you, Shelby. Very astute reading of the code. You're exactly right. That paragraph kind of goes down the primrose path instead of sticking to, we needed to do this. So instead of just doing that, we did something better and offer an explanation of how the logic chain leads from proposal to what we have in front of us.
Sure.
So if that is all, we will go to Member Treese.
This is the second go round with this, and it seems like we sent it back because they didn't have climate information.
They just were not in a position to present and answer any questions, so we punted.
Oh, that's right. Nobody showed up. Yes.
May I? So Robin Cordero is no longer with SWCA. And so now Joseph Berkman is taking over. And I would also like to mention on page 2 of your NIAF, Joseph, that it still shows principal investigator and field supervisor as Robin Cordero, so that needs to be changed.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
They actually did the work. He can't change it.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
has to
I-
say that.
I wasn't
Is there something
involved.
that refers him after the fact?
Is there anything in the report that refers to you, Joseph?
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think it needs to refer to you, because as we know, this was all done before you had to step in and
Yep.
carry the ball. So what's being presented is a document produced at the time by the people who did the work, and that should be sufficient.
Great.
You're just on the hot seat to answer questions.
There you
We
go.
did change
Yeah.
their application with staff, with the city staff.
Okay, did you hear that, Joseph?
No, I'm sorry.
Application to the staff may need some modification.
They did change
Oh, okay.
already.
So we don't need to do anything.
No.
Okay.
I was wrong. Thank you.
No worries.
Remember.
So, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Good.
Then I just want to reiterate a couple of things that our excused member offered last week as commentary to no one. Page 2 of your NIAF. Realize that you're not responsible for the formatting of a state produced document, but the fact that the text bleeds under the borders separating the sections for which you're trying to provide information makes it darn hard to actually read your description of the undertaking.
Okay.
And therefore the reference to city code that Member Magnuson decoded and knew what it said, but it's impossible to read on page. Page 8 of the NIAF, and this occurs again in the body of the report on page 1, is the statement to the effect that the 2.34 acres surveyed consisted of the northeast portion of the project area, which was the only area that was not already developed. On page 1.1, it says it's the area not covered by previous surveys. I can find no previous surveys that covered any part of any of this property, so I think maybe the enthusiasm to say something about why it's 2.34 acres instead of 6, whatever, led to a mismatch in statements.
Okay.
As far as I can read it, you surveyed the open ground and you ignored everything that looked like it had already been developed.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Okay, just because I'm a cautious sort, I think it's not a good idea to just ignore the other 4 point whatever acres because it looks like it's been developed, because there's open ground in there amongst all of that. It wouldn't have cost any significant time and effort to say, and we looked at all the open ground in the area that was already developed and didn't see anything, instead of just not surveying. That's a field methodology thing that happens again on page 5.1, wherein it says it's not covered by previous surveys. There is no area within this project area that was covered by any previous survey, so that is not a direct statement. The reason you didn't survey it is because it had been previously developed, as far as I can read. And so that needs to be consistent. And I'm just saying for future reference that you should probably just look at the other area as well and say 85% of that was already developed, therefore visibility was poor and we didn't see anything.
Sure.
And that would be simpler. So that is all. Committee members, anything else? If not, we can entertain a motion.
I don't have anything.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can consider a motion.
So will these bleed-ins, will they be corrected somehow? Or
I don't think they need to be. It's just frustrating. The upfront attention to how it looks would help us.
Yeah.
We teased it out. We know what it says. And it's been pointed out that certain things have been phrased perhaps inappropriately, but it's not an error of serious magnitude. And I'm not even saying you need to actually fix any of this stuff. I think it's fine, just don't do it again.
especially that bleeding? I moved that in, the case 012090, we, accept the report. I move that we accept the report.
Okay, we have a motion.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. And we're now ready for administrative matters and communications. Staff, what do we have?
Have two items, Chair Eck. First, I want to present the Archaeology Award for outstanding examples of archaeological preservation or contributions to the prehistory or history of Santa Fe through archaeology. So we have 3 nominations that have came before us. One for Dr. Stephen Post, another for Robin N. Cudero, and a third for Chair Eck. So I want to mention that I don't think I could be able to go with your nomination because you're probably going to be my presenter. And to nominate, I don't know if current staff or current members are allowed to be nominated.
I don't get to do this.
For service.
And it's frivolous, but veto. Thou shalt not nominate me.
Okay.
No one will consider me.
So we have, here you go, Chair Eck. And Member Magson, I am, if you could please, is it Magason or Megson?
Magison.
Magison. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. So if you all could email me, we want to say by May 1st, your out of these Dr. Post or Robin Cudero to receive this, or if you have any that you wish to add at this time, we're open to hear anything that you may have for as far as nominations. So this was the public nominated, but if you and other members, but if you have anything further, we are open to hear it.
Is there a list of previous awardees?
Yes.
Could we have that?
How many years back would you like me to go?
Say
5 years, 10 years?
10 years, let's say 10.
Okay, 10 years. And so what we'll need to do is we'll have to further this process by email.
Yes.
And because the awards, just a reminder, is going to be May 21st. And I need to have my stuff done by May 4th. So that gives us till May 1st to make a decision.
Thank you for the May 1st deadline. And Shelby, for your information, when corresponding with staff about such matters, and in fact, anything, make sure that you are speaking directly to a staff member and not including other committee members in your emails. We need to avoid these floating quora on communication.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry that I must have replied all to something. I'm sorry.
No. I was just forewarning that don't do that.
For future references.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I will send you all tomorrow, as well as Member Bechtel. Make sure she's included in that. And then if you have anything further to add, I'll give you a couple of days to suggest anyone else other than who's on this list, and then I'll give you a final list of vote.
Great.
And this will happen within the next week.
In times past, and again, this is mostly for Shelby's information, we've normally considered people for an award for projects that are completed, not for projects that are in progress. So it's important to know, in most cases, what a person was nominated for. In this case, we have 2 names and no context.
And
do you have something to add?
What was given was just their contributions through history and time, not for a particular project.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's more like a lifetime achievement award.
In archaeology.
Well, I plan to live a lot longer, so another reason you can't nominate.
But yours was for 16 years of service.
After it's over, you can bludgeon me with
I
the
will.
numbers at
I
will.
will. And just so you know, that was yours was for.
All right. So that puts these awards in a context. It is a broad, unspecified context.
Yes. And that is all I have for the awards. The next mention, I wanted to let you all know that Mariah is moving over to building permits, and this will be her last hearing with us. So we want to thank her for her time and efforts in being our notary swearing in, and wish her the best of luck in the building permit division.
Thank you. Are you going to be out front behind the desk?
Yes,
She is.
sir.
Good.
Thank you.
Rather than hiding back somewhere. It's
Yeah.
hard to pull by.
Layla back
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to go back there without an escort.
Oh, that makes
She will be front and center.
I'll be
Okay.
front, yes.
Okay.
I'll miss you guys.
I'll be sure.
And when do you start?
Thank you. Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Very good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys.
Watch out for all the landmines.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then I
Got
also have Paul Duran on the screen here, and we want to wish him the best of endeavors over at Water as well. So
So Paul, you have your feet wet?
let me let him talk. Hold on. Mr. Duran, you want to unmute yourself? Can you hear us, Paul?
Well, he unmuted himself, so he
No.
must have heard something.
All right, well, if he materializes, we can further, sir.
Correct, I just reached out to Suki Pablo and let him know about the drinking tomorrow. I'll go investigate tomorrow, so.
Excellent. I'd rather everybody got way ahead of this instead of letting it get close to, we've got the machine ready.
Yeah, most likely it'll be probably a Stockport border notice issue.
And I don't think I'm wrong about the level of concern in that location.
Correct, yeah.
So,
That is all for staff communications.
all right. Matters from the committee. This is where you get to say things that you need to say. Often it's just bookkeeping or scheduling or whatever, but this is your chance to address the committee. So, Member Trees.
There, I appreciate your explanation of my questions about permitting. Because it's bothered me for a while about how this person's doing something and then all of a sudden somebody else is doing it from a completely different company. And so now I understand that better. So thank you for that explanation. There was a discussion of sorts. Somehow I got involved in something with regarding the proposal for the LiDAR over in front and behind and next to George O'Keefe. And I felt that should have been something, I was unprepared to deal with it in email. So I didn't. I don't know how. I felt like the committee should vote on that. I didn't know that we approved. I know that we approved to get a proposal. I don't know that we approved any money.
No, we haven't received an actual proposal and we have not, as a group, considered.
So there is a proposal.
I can state what we spoke about, I believe, in the last hearing, that a request was made for a proposal to be done, but I don't know that if we, as staff, have that proposal. So, did you receive something from Director Lamboy?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if I was included in that, so I can't speak to it. So
How it came to me and Gayla,
okay,
and Gayla responded, and I saw that, and
okay,
I said, should we be talking about this?
okay, okay,
Yeah.
I will.
And then it stopped, and
I
then just like nothing.
I will find out and we will, bring it up in the next hearing.
And reference my earlier comments about email.
Yes,
The fact that Member Treese knows that Member Bechtel saw and responded to something that he also saw is kind of muddying the waters. It should not be that way.
I understand, Sheriff. We will correct that.
If it was meant to be an informational item, not anything else, well, okay, but maybe more pains to say for information only in the header or something.
I will speak with Director Lamboy and see where her intention was going with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just felt like it should be in the committee rather than, because it was a lot of money.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see, I also feel like I didn't want to really, I wanted to come off not as heavily criticizing the situation with the Packard residents, but I do want to emphasize that anytime uh, a site is to be monitored regardless of the age of that site, it should be dealt with the same way. And I'm not, I don't want to say that they weren't, but I want to make sure that everybody knows that it doesn't matter if we say monitor the site or do a reconnaissance or whatever, that regardless of if you find something, anything over 50 years is what you're supposed to report on. That's the way our rules read. And it doesn't matter whether you think it's serious or not. It's serious if we told you to monitor it. Is that correct?
That's a very good point, and it is exactly correct. We should not let anyone dismiss something simply because they're not buzzed by it.
Yeah.
If it meets the criteria, they must document it and report it. Period. And then it's up to us to decide whether it's significant or not. Significance under the city code has got different paint on it than significance under the state eligibility and at the federal level.
Yeah.
Eligibility. And so we use these terms sloppily, but interchangeably. If it's eligible, it's significant. But if it's significant, it's not necessarily eligible. Yeah. What a mess.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if the city code used the same terminology and the same criteria, but it doesn't, and it won't, and they're fine.
I mean, I really think it is important, especially in New Mexico, because there's so many people get really, I mean, it's kind of like farmers back in Midwest, you know, I mean, you make do, you would, you know, if you can weld and have baling wire, you can almost do anything. And that's the way people build their houses in New Mexico. You know, I mean, I've seen weird stuff, but it works, you know, and it may not comply with code, probably doesn't, but, you know, to record the ingenuity of a site that is maybe only 50 or 60 or 100 or 150 years old, and the methods that people used, just because it's not a 1,000-year-old pit house, you know, shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if the people that owned the house were important or not, because
You getting this on the camera?
Yes.
He's telling it like it is. You are exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, a pit house isn't a chief's house, it's a house.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, one of the comments that they made the last time they presented that was, well, it's already gone. I thought, well, not completely. And, you know, if that was the attitude, then, you know, Cahokia would be, who cares? Yeah.
Well, its sister city is gone.
Yeah.
It's under St. Louis.
Yeah. So.
It's every bit as big.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that that is emphasized. And, you know, I know that these folks were just approved for, you know, the outer limits of Santa Fe. And I think, you know, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that, because they're going to be using that time to come into downtown. And it's all the same. As far as I'm concerned, it's all the same.
Right.
And to put one caveat on that, experience here and yonder does not get you into downtown. Experience with the kinds of archaeology that are in the downtown district get you into the downtown district. So if you go off to Florida and work with Spanish colonial archaeology, you've got an in. But if you go to Arizona and work on Hohokam, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if you're here and you get in the downtown, the way to do that is to work for and with somebody who is permitted in the downtown.
Yeah.
That's how everybody who's on the list now got on the list.
Yeah.
And note that I am not on the list and I have worked in the downtown, so. Oh, no.
Well, that was all I really had to say. I do think it would behoove sometimes, and they were doing work for developer. Developer has contractors that work for them. If you're looking at a house that's 75 years old, a contractor knows those because they've been working on it.
Right.
They're a consultant. Get them on there.
Yeah. You've got a ready source of information.
Yeah. You don't have to guess. I mean, because they know.
Or they'll make it up.
Basically, Pentile houses stopped in the 30s because everybody said, what a pain this stuff is. It's still a pain. If
Still
you remodel it,
standing.
it's still a pain.
It's still there, it's still there.
Still standing.
All right.
Okay.
Member Magnuson?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to reiterate that the new version of the Santa Fe Land Development Code isn't available online. And I know we can't do anything with like the Municode website, but would it be possible?
It is actually on the Municode.
I was
under,
checking.
It's if you scroll down and it'll show new.
So I checked that and it just had the memo saying that it passed.
Okay. I can see if I can send you the link, and then I will make an addition to add it to the ARC page, because I still have to add you on our website. So that's on my to-do list. I will add that section of the code to be changed on our page as well.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Just a logistical question. Shelby, will it be possible for you to be here for meetings, or will you be remote more often than not?
I'm planning on attending most of them in person. I'm just in Colorado right now for my sister's baby shower.
You've got more important things to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but most of them I plan, unless I'm traveling for work or something else, I plan to be in person.
Good. Thank you for that. And I'm a curmudgeon and I like paper and I like people. I hate visual representations and remote systems that function. I had to lecture somebody online about that today. I hate AI and I hate chat and I'd like to talk to a human. Thank you. And corollary to what you were looking at on the webpage. I know that I am a troglodyte and I don't understand how the web works, but when I go somewhere that is a known URL, City of Santa Fe, I expect it to look the same every time. It doesn't. And I don't know if that means that there's a legacy version of the web page floating out there in the ether somewhere, and it sometimes randomly gets accessed by the unknowing who just stab on whatever Google says, or if I'm doing something wrong. It took me 40 minutes coming at the Santa Fe City webpage from every angle I knew to use to finally get to something that I have a bookmark for. Except somebody somewhere decided it would be a good idea to change something. So the bookmark no longer goes to where it's supposed to go. It goes somewhere else where somebody obviously thinks I ought to go. And believe you me, I've been told where to go a lot, and it won't change. But dang it, if I'm trying to find something simple that I know is on the city webpage, I ought to be able to find it. And I can't. Here's an example. This is bizarrely complicated. Why can't I click on City of Santa Fe webpage? On the splash page, it should say all meeting records. It shouldn't be buried on the 14th page of some sub-page of a sub-page under a certain committee name. I ought to be able to go to all meeting records and search all meeting records so that I can find the blankety blank Zoom recordation of a meeting that I'm interested in. But no, that doesn't happen. I have to know what I'm looking for. I have to know where it is in order to get there. Or I do what the Troglodytes do, and they go on to the YouTube splash page and look for the City of Santa Fe. And lo and behold, there's a whole channel, City of Santa Fe. Why isn't that on the dang City of Santa Fe splash page to say, there it is? And I'm being shown a piece of paper, and yeah, I don't care. If it's on paper, that's good, but it needs to be on the webpage.
If I may, Chair Eck, I know that Director Lamboy is working to try to have land use's own control of our website separated from the controllers of the website. So we can have the availability to build it to our liking and have control of the easier navigation for staff and the community and members. So I know that that's in the works. I don't know where it is. Do you have any knowledge of that? Yeah. So, but that has been, I have heard that conversation that she is working. I don't know where they are, but I know that that is in the works.
But it's not just us.
I know.
I'm stupidly becoming convinced that I need to start watching certain other committee meetings. Stupidly, because I don't have the time. But stuff is happening that I need to know about.
Right.
Some of which we need to know about.
Right.
And if I had all the time in the world, I would, attend all the meetings and listen to all the recordings and all of that stuff. And then I'd shoot myself in the morning because, my God, but, can't find anything. It's not logically laid out. And if a web person who is in charge of that web page can't make it very simple for a human that is not an IT or web convert or native, we are lost. There is no point in having a web page if it can't talk to the common. It used to be the common man, but here we are. Humans are humans, and not all of us are up to our ears in technology, thank God. So those who are presenting us information via technology need to make sure it presents information, not technology. Because supplying technology is a waste of time. It's the information that's important. And the first time somebody in the city says, we're going to involve AI in how we do things in the city, we may as well all go home because the world is ended. people have to take charge of their information. And the city has to take charge of its own information. And it must be presented in a way that can be accessed. That will save you lots of time and money. If somebody can find what they're looking for, they don't need to file an IPRA or whatever the state version is. You know, it's a waste of everybody's time to have to do that. Put the danged information out there in a way that people can find it. We'll get off my soapbox.
And it's not only the public, it's staff that goes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you guys have the same frustrations. You call somebody and say, well, where the heck is it? And he says, oh, well, here's the link. No. Where is it? So I can just find it. The link doesn't matter because if somebody changes it, you no longer have access to it. So it doesn't work. Ugh. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Don't take much to change it, even one character and done.
Well, you'd think someone would think about that. The next meeting is on May 28th, 2026. I'll be here.
I'm not, it's kind of a weird day, but I mean, I'm not planning on being anywhere. It's a Thursday, it's not Friday.
Shelby, will you be here?
Yes, I will.
And as far as we know, Member Bechtel also will be here, so we can go play golf. We'll have a foursome.
And I want to also, again, reiterate May 21st will be the awards, and I will go ahead and send you information on the location. I would encourage you all to attend if you could.
If nothing else, to be there to laugh at my bad joke.
Does that mean you're going to present the award for me?
Ma'am, I will do anything that you ask, whenever you ask, just
Thank you,
point me in the
Chair.
right direction.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we are now up to what used to be by letter on the agenda, item J, which we affectionately called item Jake for a former member of our committee who always made the motion to.
I move we adjourn.
We have a motion.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Shelby.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
pod.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.